All right, we're live. Welcome to Cleveland Business Live, episode 50. Yes. Yes, girl. You're on my 50th. You're on my 50th. I love it. I am so excited. Today, I have Brianne Moore Price on with me, and Brianne is the Chief Revenue Officer for Blossom Brands. Correct?
Blooming Brands.
And it's so exciting for me because here we have this Cleveland girl, born and raised, who we've known each other since high school. And you are in the beauty industry and rocking it and have for so long. And so I'm just so excited to dive in and for you to tell everybody how you broke into the industry and you kept your roots here in Cleveland. You were determined to do it.
And buy a house with you, obviously. I mean, all of
what brought you things that you have coming up on your brand? Yes. So what you broke up? What was all of the above?
I said, and I bought a house with you, obviously.
Yes.
So all of the above. All of the above.
Exactly. So go back and tell us how, because there aren't many, or you don't think there are many people in the beauty industry here because it's
yeah. So I mean, it's so funny because I always, a lot of people are like, oh, when I was a kid, I wanted to be a veterinarian or I wanted to be a doctor. And then you grow up and you get older and you're like, I don't know if I'm going to be that thing anymore. And then, life kind of gets in the way and you're like, what the heck am I doing?
I wanted to be a dancer.
I knew from 4 years old, I wanted to be in fashion or beauty. That was it for me. I always wanted makeup and nail care and fur coats. And that was just
Show us your nails. Show us your nails.
Little plug. Salon to you. I'll plug my girl because she's amazing. Her name is
that?
So she comes to your house.
Stop it.
Yes.
I want her
whole separate conversation about my love for Brie and for her business, and she's amazing. And
Brie too.
Her name's Brie too.
Oh my god.
BREE, not BRI, but whatever.
Okay. I seriously want her number. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
I will share after the podcast. But I don't know. It's just one of those things. I always knew I wanted to be in this industry, and I didn't know how the path was gonna ultimately wind for me, but it was always something that I focused on, not letting the traditional idea of beauty fashion always being based in LA or New York being a hindrance to making sure that I could kind of push my career forward and do it where I wanted to live. And like we were talking about earlier, I know that now a lot of people are getting used to the idea of working from Cleveland, but maybe their company's based in Salt Lake City or based in LA or based in New York. I've always done this, which was kind of non-traditional for a long time. So it's really exciting for me to see that, the surprise on people's face when they learn that, the girl that made my favorite cuticle oil. I mean, I literally walked into a salon. I'm trying to think. Bloom, which is in Solon. I walked into Bloom to get my nails done months and months ago over the holidays. And I sat down and I'm getting my nails done and the guy's talking to me and then he finishes doing them and he grabs cuticle oil and he puts it on my fingers. And I was like, oh, I run that company. And he was like, what? And I was like, yeah. I'm like, that's one of the new products I developed 2 years ago. And now you're your nails. It's just so
exciting.
It's really fun. So yeah, it's just it's really fun and the company is great and there's just so much growth in beauty and cosmetics right now that it's a really
I feel so. Now you started in hair care, right?
So yeah,
how did you even break into that? I mean, you're here and you went to school, right?
Yeah.
I mean, where did you go to school?
So I went to, if we go way back, when I was in high school, I went to Brush, go Arts.
Right.
And Brush has a vocational program that you can do cosmetology. And I had finished all my college prereqs by midway through my junior year. And they were like, what do you want to do with basically hours of your day that you have no classes to take? It was either study hall, auto shop, study hall, or cosmetology. And I was like, well, I know I'm never going to be a hairdresser. I knew that was never going to be for me, but I would love to learn about the industry and just kind of understand what it entails. And so I went and started taking cosmetology at Brush. And then I would sweep hair at salons for money.
Oh my
Working
God.
my way through, high school, I worked at Studio MZ on Sugar and Boulevard. I worked at Mark Frank. I answered phones at Beechwood Mall back when Mark Frank was at Beechwood Mall.
Oh my gosh, I think I remember that.
Oh my God, yes. I used to work at night in like clubs, which we won't talk about that, but I would work at night all night at like Aqua, which I'm totally dating myself, but whatever. I would work and then I would go change in my car and I would like drive to Mark Frank and open the salon in the morning
Oh
for
my gosh.
a good place. So, I mean, it sounds like, that's as far back as it goes. And then from there, I just kind of kept making choices that it was the industry I wanted to stay in. So I went and did my, BFA in San Francisco at the Academy of Art San Francisco. And I got a fine arts degree in beauty and fashion. And then I realized if I ever wanted to become an executive at a beauty company, that I would need to have some college level business and math classes, and a BFA doesn't really afford you those. So I went back to school and got my master's from the University of Findlay in organizational leadership. And the whole time I was in school, I was working in the industry. So I worked for hair care brands back in the day. So I worked for Wella before it was even owned by Procter and Gamble. So Wella was acquired by Procter and Gamble in like the early 2000s. But I worked for them out in the Bay Area in San Francisco. And then
But you were here locally while you were working for
that
them?
was the only job I've ever had not in Cleveland. So I moved home in 2006 and I was like, I still want to stay in the industry, but there was nothing in Cleveland. The only beauty brands were Matrix and Aquage. Those were like the two local Cleveland hair care brands. And I was like, I want to work for a big one. I want to work for Bumble. I wanted to work for Bumble and Bumble. So I stalked them and then found out they had a Midwest job opening. And then I had like 3 interviews with them. And ultimately they moved it from Detroit. Originally it was going to be based in Detroit. Then it was going to be based in Cincinnati. And then finally I was like, that's like 5 hours away. People that don't know Ohio have no idea that Cincinnati is not Cleveland and it's
Cleveland. I don't know why, because Cincinnati doesn't sound like Cleveland.
State. It's like a state.
It doesn't rhyme with it.
I'm going to be in Cleveland, North Coast. That's it for me.
Yes.
And so
how did you get them? You just basically, you believed in your abilities. You sold yourself.
I did. And I also just, I kind of made a case for it. And I think that that's something that's like important, that in my mind, I've always thinking about how do you make a case for whatever it is you're going to ask for and how do you advocate for yourself? And that was what I had to do even in those, like that initial role, moving it to Cleveland. I was like, I know all these salons in Cleveland, because if you go back to like earlier in my story, I was sweeping hair at Studio MZ back when they were a Bumble and Bumble exclusive salon, one of the first. And I was like, I know all these salon owners. I know all these people that are in this market. I can move the needle with Cleveland. And I can also move the needle in these other markets through my connections at blah, blah, blah. And, kind of said also, cost of living is much less here than it is in Cincinnati. So, you don't have to pay someone $80,000 a year. You could pay someone, whatever, arbitrary numbers, $60,000 a year. And so I just like bugged them. Basically.
I love that.
Until they moved in.
I love that. And they were like, okay, we want you.
It is hysterical. And then, the team from Bumble is the same team that started Orbe Hair Care. And so they brought me over to Orbe to be, the national sales manager for them a million years ago. And then it's just kind of rolled from there. And, I've just grown in every organization that I've worked for to the point where I'm at now where, it was funny. I mean, when I got this role at Blooming Brands, so we're owned by private equity. The brand was bought in 2019. And that's when they were looking for someone to replace the founders and bring someone in the role that I have currently for them, which is the chief revenue officer. They were looking for someone in LA. They were like, we want someone in LA. They looked and looked and looked. And I did not even apply for this job. Like a recruiter found me on LinkedIn and was like, I'm recruiting for this position. It's based in Los Angeles, but you have like the perfect mix of retail and consumer product experience and cosmetics and pro beauty experience that I think I could possibly get you in front of them and you could be an option. And I was like, well, cool. I've been, I'm not really looking for a job right now. I actually had an offer from a different company. But if you guys want to, consider it being in Cleveland, that this is where it has to be.
I'll interview you for me taking this position.
Exactly.
And interview you.
It was hysterical. And they were like, it was in 2019. So this is pre-COVID, pre-everything. Right. They hired me based off of a series of Zoom calls because I had another offer from another company. And they were like, we don't want to, lose you to this other opportunity. Right. With another beauty company that is based in Salt Lake called, I shouldn't actually say that, but another beauty company based in Salt Lake, whom I'm very good friends with.
You have that leverage. I mean,
and I was like, you guys gotta make a decision and you have to make it outside of your comfort zone. So on top of it, not being someone based in the market that you want, it's also, you got to make it without me flying out to LA and meeting you in person and shaking your hand and doing the whole old school interview thing. And, ultimately the company has grown, over 40% year over year since I took over from
the chief revenue officer taking care of business. So you just developed like a whole skincare line, right?
I did. So Blossom, the brand that everybody knows well is Blossom, which is it's a cuticle oil, lip gloss. We have a bunch of different products in the line and they all have real flowers in the products. And those are all made in Los Angeles at our headquarters. We have a co-packing and a warehouse facility that's right there attached to the home office where we make, roughly 85% of the product line is still made there. So it's great. Wow. We're vertical, which is a huge problem right now for people that have supply chain that they rely on from other places. So we've been able to continue to scale and grow because we do a lot of our production in Los Angeles.
That's awesome.
And then over the course of when, everyone was kind of stuck at home and doing a lot more of these Zoom calls and podcasts and everything, everyone's way they took care of their skin and way they took care of themselves at home, self-care, changed drastically over the last 2 years. And so we had already identified that the Blossom customer was growing up and her needs were getting a little bit more evolved for what she wanted out of her daily skincare routine or her daily just kind of regimen. She didn't just want clear lip gloss with flowers in it or cuticle oil.
I want that though.
It's really cute. It is super fun. I know we just launched this like a Zodiac collection. It's got
I saw that. It is Pisces and I'm a Pisces. So I was like,
Pisces season. Pisces. My husband's a Pisces.
I know. I think we were talking about that.
He's an Aquarius, but my baby.
Oh, he is? Okay.
She's a Pisces.
Oh, I love it. I know. I saw that. I want that.
Yes. So, but we knew our customer was growing up and we wanted to continue to leverage the brand equity that we had with Blossom, but also make sure that the products that we were providing to her were high efficacy, so a high effectiveness rate, were still going to be a price point that weren't going to alienate our customer base. So Blossom, traditionally, the retail is like somewhere between $5 and $12.
Right.
We developed a masstige level price point at high efficacy skincare and treatment line. And so, sorry, I just heard my doorbell ding and I'm making sure no one's walking in. I know, right? It could be anyone. We have no idea who walks in my door.
Yes, guy.
So we really want to develop something that had a really high efficacy rate, that was vegan, cruelty-free, plant-based, that had all the hot buzzwords that people were looking for in skincare and in treatment right now. So when we talk about, like I said, blue light blocking is a big one because we're on our screens all the time. And there's all this data coming out about the impact that blue light can have on your skin and breaking down collagen.
I didn't know this.
Girl.
Oh my God. I have my glasses.
I know. Yes. So we did we have ingredients with blue light blocking. We have probiotics in all the products to make sure that they help fight off a lot of the bacteria that gets on your skin and makes your skin, you could get clogged pores, etc.
Right.
Anti-inflammatory ingredients. I mean, all of it is based in botanicals and flowers, which is really where Blossom has stemmed from.
Right. Just clean beauty. So just because oh my gosh, we're already at 15 minutes. It flies. It's flying.
Oh my God, girl.
Okay. So, but real quick, I was just curious. So you said that things changed during COVID. You found people are taking better care of themselves?
Absolutely. Not even just better care. So statistically, the amount of money that people spend on self-care now has more than tripled in the last 3 years. So like the average consumer in 2019 was spending $328 a year on self-care at home products. And the average consumer spends almost $900 a year on products. And it's not like one cream is $300. They're spending it on a huge assortment of products now. So nail care, eye care, lash serum, brow serum, because people are on Zooms like you and I are, and they want to make sure that they look really good on camera. And they want to make sure
my lights just went out.
Oh, girl, your light went out. I'm working from my dining room because
but I mean, I noticed that for myself, I spend so much more money on self-care, but I didn't tie it in with COVID. But
a lot of it has to do because you were trapped at home and you're working in this kind of an environment, and a lot of people couldn't get out to their professional providers when it was like for hair care, nail care, whatever. I mean, a lot of people really learned to kind of fish for themselves when it comes to
that's so
products
true.
and the way that they do them. So it's crazy.
I love that. So where should people look out for you? Where should they find you or find Blossom? Where's the best place to?
So definitely we've got our www.blossombeauty.com is our direct to consumer site. Also, you can find our products in pretty much any store, many stores here in the Cleveland area. So you can find it at certain Targets. You can find it at Nordstrom Rack. You can find it at Five Below. We do like an off-price version of our products for Five Below, Francesca's. Those are some of the brick and mortar options. And CVS, you'll see a lot of holiday coming out for us for this year. So we're going to have the Zodiac display is going into CVS for Halloween time. We've got some Halloween, like little gift sets and some holiday and all that. You'll see a ton of that. And then the By Blossom stuff, the skincare line will be available at byblosombeauty.com soon. And also we'll have an exclusive partner on Amazon as well selling it.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
Well, I hope it inspires some people, like you were saying, if you know you're passionate about something, that's the industry you want to get in. Don't let the fact that you're geographically here stop you. Find a way to bring the industry here to you.
Exactly. Bring it to Cleveland. More love.
Bring it to Cleveland. That's exactly how I feel. All right. Well, thanks, girl. You are the best.
All right. It's good to see you.
It's so good to see you too.
Bye.
All right. Have a good rest of the day, everybody.